Hey guys, what's going on? This is your broadcaster, MasterCloud, and I am back for some more Lord of the Rings, The Battle from Middle-earth to the Rise of the Witch King. Today's matchup is going to be another tournament game from the April 2015 Game Replays one-day tournament. Spawning in the lower right-hand side is going to be the player Bushit. He is, of course, spawning as Agmar. His opponent up in the upper left-hand side of the map. Spawning in the green trunks, it is going to be Brabox. And he is as Isengard. Now, I'm guessing that both of these players picked random. That would be my guess. However, I'm not actually positive on that, as this tournament did allow you to choose your race if you wanted to. Obviously, I would say apparent, not necessarily obviously, but probably, most likely, Bushit here going for that random. As you can see, his opponent is scouting him out. So wants to get an idea of where he is, who he is, and what his beginning strategy might be shaping up to look like. Now, of course, guys, as I mentioned in that intro, this is from the very recent tournament over at GameReplays.org. If you haven't checked out my last video of myself versus Excalibur, check that one out. There is the bracket in there. You can see actually some of the players who did end up playing in this tournament. And there's definitely some big names in there. One that you guys will notice is missing is the player Maher. So he of course is generally considered by most to be one of the best, if not the best player in the game right now. He is absent from this tournament. So that really leaves the window open to who may take the gold. And another reason that this tournament is pretty interesting to see some of these high-level players going against each other coming up is going to be some casts. I'm going to be casting some other very, very good players. Andy versus Mace Shadow games turned out to be incredibly good, so I definitely want to bring those to you guys as well. So definitely stay tuned to my channel. More of this tournament, more games from this tournament will be coming out very, very soon here, as I am settled into my new place and ready to go ahead and cast a ton of games for your guys' watching or viewing pleasure. Now, we do have an early attack here by both players. Pretty standard stuff. We see the Gundabad Warriors being actually driven away here by Brabox. So Brabox doing a nice job of sort of pushing some of these units away. The Throwmaster actually cancels that. He might have been able to catch some of these orcs with his Uruk-hai here. I'm not sure if that was a correct cancel or not. But another group of Uruk-hai around the back side here has gone for the what is this called again? The Uruk Pit opening, as opposed to that Wildman opening, which you sometimes see. Bushit here being extremely annoying with these Gundabad Warriors, as they will eventually now engage these archers instead. Actually has them on defensive stance, I guess, to take more damage from the archers, but it's not going to be nearly enough. He's going to get, one or two units and then lose that group. Although not wasted, wasn't able to take out that single farm or get it canceled at the very least. Looks like these units getting a little too close. He's going to lose a lot of those axemen there, and Bushit taking a little bit, falling a little bit behind, I would say, in this match already, as he is losing a couple of units, has lost a structure here or there, actually has some Black Numenorians out, has gone for quite an early upgrade on one of his Hall of the King's Men here, and these Black Numenorians will actually have to see how well they fare against some of the units. We have pikemen out already for our Isengard player. Will lose the remainder of those troops in the bottom side here, but is reinforcing. Now has a ton of troops here, 3 units, the archers in here as well. So this is starting to look a little scary. Do we have an additional attack around the top side? I don't believe so. Guys, in case I didn't mention it in the opening, this is played on the map called Erech, E-R-E-C-H, I think. So I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly or not, but I feel like it's close enough. So that'll help you guys find it if you are interested in learning about this map, playing on this map, whatever that may be. Looks like these troops, actually, I think they probably should engage. Although, actually, with 2 Black Numenorian troops here, yeah, he probably wants to fall back. Unsure of how much damage those are going to actually do, but I have a feeling that they're going to be pretty effective against most of the troops that he has here. So it does indeed want to pull those back. Another building gets canceled for Bushit, and he will continue to press forward here with a couple of his units. Needs to regather his forces together and make a coordinated attack, I feel like. We'll throw an additional unit of Gundabad warriors through the center the buildings here for our player Brabox situated pretty SimCity-ish. Does have these very close together to prevent any full surrounds. We do have a huge engagement going down on the lower left-hand side here next to the mountain as these units begin to deal a ton of damage with that. I guess there's a leadership bonus that went down, or a rally call most likely, from it's going to be the war chant, of course, by Bushit. The crows overhead will prevent some of that, so it's actually going to be a pretty even battle here. These archers in the back doing a ton of damage. The Black Numenorians doing a nice job of cutting through a ton of these troops. The ones in the front as well. One unit of Urkai getting through, though, will begin to engage these axe throwers. The Black Numenorians hanging on, though, will fall back with a couple of these troops. The Numenorians do stay and clean up the remainder of the pikemen, it looks like, so that'll be a nice pickup for him. The archers do go up to level 2, though, so that's going to be a nice pickup for Brabox, or Brabox, whatever it may in fact be. And now he will return with some of these axemen, but those will definitely go down. And Brabox going to be taking that fight pretty convincingly, I would say, as he does have a decent amount of troops here left over and can now turn around and engage with those. A couple of units moving along the north side as well. The Wildmen, there is a group of Wildmen here as well, and they're actually going to try and go for the capture of the signal fire here. This might be too close to the Spiderling's nest, though, and I think those Spiderlings are indeed going to go ahead and catch or see those Wildmen there. And if he actually gets this before they get taken out, that's going to be a really, really good pickup for him, as the signal fire provides a ton, or decreases that time that your powers recharge. So, in fact, he does manage to capture that. It's going to be a really nice pickup for him. A huge unit from Bushit moving along the lower right-hand side will, in fact, attack the spiders, and now is pulling back some of these Dark Rangers, which he does have on the field. These can be incredibly effective, very powerful archers in the game. A group of Wildmen and Pikemen moving around the backside here. I'm not sure why we're seeing so many Pikemen here from Brabox. I'm not sure that's the exact right choice. He does not have a Wolf and Troll Den down, so he cannot produce any cavalry units at this point in the game. The Pikemen can be effective against structures, but I'd rather see him go for actual siege units than for the pikemen to take out those structures. Might get the mill here. That's going to be a nice pickup, but the archers here should be able to take out the remainder of those troops. More troops moving across the center from Isengard, though. And this is looking to be a little bit, looking to be quite a large army for Bushit to actually have to deal with here. Although with these archers in the back takes out the Wildmen very, very quickly, as they are not really for fighting, they're more for dealing damage to those buildings. Will fall back here. Here goes down a summon as well. It's going to be more Gundabad warriors, more moving in from the back as well. It has 2 units of Dark Rangers here now, and an additional couple units of Gunda warriors along the left-hand side will begin dealing a lot of damage to those structures up there. The Whirlwind goes down to catch some of these troops. A couple of the pikemen manage to escape through it. They will not be able to get down this building, especially with it being next to the fortress, is providing additional support. And the Gundabad warriors, with the surround, all these Wildmen going down, the archers dealing terrible, terrible damage, and this entire attack thwarted with very minimal losses to Bushit, other than maybe a single farm for him. His attack along the left-hand side here will continue to do damage and might actually get an additional furnace. That would be a really great pickup for him, as he is now moving out across the map. A couple of units moving to the north side to begin dealing with potentially the signal fire, or just to begin healing, most likely, as he just wants to keep that unit alive. If possible, manage to get that furnace here. So our Isengard player here looking to be in a little bit of trouble almost, as more units moving out across the field, and Brabox looking to be... He has a ton of buildings all around this area right here, though. This is pretty crazy to see all those Isengard buildings just set up like this. It just looks really, really SimCity-ish, really cool. I enjoy seeing the setup here of Brabox's base. But anyways, Bushit beginning to pick off a couple of these units here. I'm not sure why this lumber mill is right here. There's not a lot of trees around this spot. does, of course, want to build that near much closer to a forest to utilize that potential. The rally call goes down, the arrow drop goes down, however, and can he get his units out of there in time? The answer is no, and a lot of those Isengard units are going to be taking a lot of damage there. However, he is overpowering the forces of Bushit here, and I think he's going to lose a lot of his archers, which are level 2, so that's going to be a pretty big loss if he does not get those out of there in time. A couple units surviving might be able to pull out in time. An additional couple of units around the bottom side will get scouted here by Bushit's forces and may be able to take those out before really any damage is done. There are somehow still Gundabad warriors in this, though. A single unit of, or 2 archers here managing to escape at the last second. This unit as well, still alive, is being chased down by these Uruk-hai, though. So might, in fact, lose that unit. At least one is going to survive, though. Actually, this one might survive, too. And the Thrallmaster alive as well. So somehow, some way, despite that battle looking to be extremely in favor of Isengard, Bushit able to retain a couple of his troops here. And that's going to be pretty big in this really rather low econ game. They don't really have too much. Number one, the map isn't very large. And number two, they don't have a ton of furnaces around the map. You can see Bushit doing a good job of rebuilding those furnaces pretty quickly. Doesn't have any along the south side, but has quite a few along the north side. So he is making a fair amount of income. What we haven't seen from this game, in this game, is any heroes, and Bushit actually could use a 10 power if he would like to. We have Warg Raiders now on the way for our Isengard player, and this match so far is going to be anybody's guess. A couple of units moving through the center here, or from the lower side, are being chased down. They can easily deal with one unit of Gundabad, whereas though we'll be able to pick off a furnace or 2. Another group of units from Bushit moving forward here. Looks like he will attempt to engage will attempt to engage this army shortly, as he is positioned to make that attack. Right now, it looks like he is focusing on these units. There goes down the Whirlwind with the arrow drop. All of those units in the center, they're going to fall. And some damage being done to the units around the outside. And I think with the Dark Rangers here and a single unit of Gundabad warriors, these should get cleaned up pretty quickly. These Dark Rangers deal a lot of damage. I think I've been calling them warriors for a little bit, but they are in fact the Dark Rangers. Might get the mill here, which will be definitely worth it in terms of, or more worth it than not getting anything, but he will lose the remainder of those troops. Here comes some Warg Riders in from the backside, though. This is a great play by Brabox here to utilize those. Needs to run them through and then pull them back. There goes the arrow drop down once again, though, from those level 2 archers. And a lot of those Warg Riders getting taken out. However, they are up to level 2, so they will begin to respawn now. Looks like he's going to lose the remainder of his Dark Warriors, and once again, his attack is thwarted here by Brabox. Does have a couple of units around the top side here, able to grab another mine. And really, even though Isengard is winning these fights, what he is not doing is rebuilding his infrastructure. He has lost a ton of his mines, barely has any remaining. I mean, he has, 1, 2, 3, 4. He's looking at about 4 mines, now building a 5th. He is definitely low, I would say, though, on the income stream. As you can see, Bushit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, has 7, has some in the middle as well. So Bushit definitely making a lot more cash money right now than our Isengard player, and even though he's throwing away troops, he has the extra income to do so. Here comes some more Black Numenorians. The rally call goes down, but a summon goes down at the same time, and it's going to be the Whites by Bushit. That Angmar summon going to be incredibly effective right here in the center of all these units. Here comes a couple of Warg Riders from the back side. We'll get a decent amount of damage done. Those Black Numenorians able to take a decent amount of punishment, though. They are still alive in there. Looks like most of the Whites did end up going down. More units now moving in from the top side. A couple units of Isengard chasing down these Dark Rangers. They need some fodder units for the front to protect them. Here comes a group of Gundabad warriors to be that fodder unit. And I think with these Black Numenorians showing up as well, this small strike force will not really stand a chance against Bushit. Couple of units still scattered around this map, and so far it looks like Isengard able to claw himself back into this into this match a little bit. Or actually, I would say not claw himself back, but definitely taking the lead, I would say, at this point. As you can see, he has plenty of troops remaining on the field, able to start to get out plenty more structures now, and is actually building some defenses around his buildings as well. So he's looking to be in a pretty good spot. A stone troll thrower, a troll stone thrower going down there. Bushit trying to build a forward base here to deal some siege damage, but it's not going to be enough, and he's going to lose the siege. He's going to lose the siege equipment, of course, as well as that building, potentially. Although the spell, actually, he throws down his what is that spell called? It is going to be the building freeze, the snowbind, and that is going to prevent damage or that building from taking any damage. And he should be just fine here in terms of protecting that building now. And actually, come to think of it, this building this is actually Agmar's building. I thought this was a tower going down by Isengard, but actually, come to think of it, no, they do have towers, I believe. But this is towers actually going down by Bushit here, and he's now building farms and protecting them in the territory of our Isengard player. Will be losing an additional mine over here as well. Most of his forward troops going to be taken out. And once again, Agmar looking to be taking the lead once again. This game is just a little bit back and forth. We haven't seen any high power points yet. Both of those guys going for many couple 5s, 10s. The Summon Whites, I believe, is a 15 spell. Nevertheless, we haven't gotten up to those higher levels yet, so we'll actually have to see if we do. This building, once again, taking a lot of damage as Isengard moves in. One piece of siege equipment will get out. There's the Whirlwind with the arrow drop. All of those units going to go down. And once again, this Dark Iron Forge going to survive. It's definitely an excellent staging point here for Bushit, and if he can maintain it, he's going to be in a great position to launch an attack on the fortress of our Isengard player. Along the right side, the Furnace of Brabox going to go down. He's not going to be able to take out this tower, especially with the Dark Rangers in there. They can deal plenty of damage to these units. First going for those pikemen, then we'll switch over to the Wildmen, which will go down very, very quickly to those Dark Rangers. You can see just how much damage they do and how little health the Wildmen have. And slowly but surely, Bushit is pincering in our Isengard player. You can see him slowly moving in from the bottom side. Now has secured that. From the top side, it looks like he has troops here as well. Has captured that signal fire for himself. Now these Warg Riders trying to do what they can to deal some damage to the economy of Bushit. But at this point, he might be too far ahead with that income to let himself fall behind, really. He has plenty of pikemen moving around his base, so most of these structures should be fine. Has that wolf cage, the Dire Wolf Kennel expansion outside of his fortress as well. So these buildings over here should be quite safe. And these wargs not paying attention will begin to take a lot of damage from these pikemen. They are not going to be able to take out this mill, and I think he's going to lose these wargs. Meanwhile, towards the center of the stage, we do have a huge attack here coming by Bushit. The rally call goes down. There's a wargs coming around the backside. Needs to pull back a group of pikemen if possible to protect those troll stone throwers from behind. Looks like he might lose the building, but once again, the snowbind goes down. The building freeze is going to be preventing this building from taking any damage. So these wargs essentially useless right now, and it is beginning to take a lot of damage here to his front lines. He doesn't have a lot of units here, actually, to actually deal with this right now. We haven't seen any heroes at all during this game. Neither player going for any heroes. A little bit of a surprise, to be completely honest, but both players opting for a unit-heavy strategy rather than that hero strategy. which I find to be honestly quite interesting. The summon going on here as well at the base should protect it just fine, and I think Bushit has finally pincered in his opponent with little to no resources, little to no army, and being berated with rocks from afar. There is basically nothing our Isengard player can do right now. He has no siege equipment of his own, so he cannot launch a distant attack. It would have to be an up-close attack, but he doesn't have the troops to go ahead and do that. Most of these wildmen go down so quickly too. They're more of a harass unit than an attack unit, direct head-on. But here he comes. He is going to be mustering the remainder of his troops. A couple more units now being pumped out. And his fortress is now under siege, so he needs to go now before it goes down, before it takes too much damage. Throws down the land bonus, will move in with all the troops he can, trying to go for a complete surround attack here. But this fortress still taking a lot of damage. I'm not able to click on it. As you can see, it's grayed out, so I can't click on it to actually see the health. A little bit of a glitch in the game. Angmar throws down its own spell, though. What is that called? Blight, I believe, goes down. And all of those enemy units going to be turned to whites, and this huge attack from Isengard very, very quickly thwarted here by Bushit with a couple of PowerPoint spells which he has gained from destroying all those furnaces around the map. And this attack here is going to continue with basically no remaining units from our Isengard player. I think at this point it is looking very much in favor of Bushit, and he should be able to take down this fortress quite quickly with a couple more stones being lobbed into that fortress. It is taking significant damage. Now moving in with the remainder of his forces to begin taking out the rest of these buildings. And Bushit going to be able to, looks like, take this game. Is trying to deal with an attack here from Isengard, but it's just not enough to take out any of his, to deal any significant damage to his base. The fortress does fall, and with that I believe any hopes of Brabox moving on in this moving on in this tournament. So unfortunately for him, he is going to GG out of this game. Great game by both these guys. Bushit will go ahead and take 2 games over Brabox, so he will advance as well. Guys, stay tuned. Definitely more games to come. I hope you guys are enjoying this tournament as much as I am. For now, that's all for now. MasterCloud signing out.